Hello, it's your boy Davidoff. This is a re-upload of my main channel of a Godzilla marathon, 8 episodes long. I'm going to split it in half. I'm going to put 2 episodes together, so 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. So whichever one you're watching, enjoy. You don't have to watch it if you don't want to, but it's me talking about Godzilla movies as I watch them, watching every single one up until 2014. No, 2016 actually, because Shin Godzilla as well, and the animated trilogy as well. So there's that. It's up to 2018, and then King of the Monsters spoiler talk will be up after these are up, after all of them are up. So just so you know, enjoy. Hello, it's your boy Davidoff. Welcome back to Movie Monday. Before we get started on the Godzilla marathon, I watched 2 King Kong movies, 1933 and 2005. The reason for that is this series is mainly a build up to King of the Monsters, but it's also in a way a build up to Kong v Godzilla, or Godzilla vs Kong. I mean, sorry, that's what it's called, right? In 2020, I'm looking forward to that. I'm not a huge fan of Kong. Like, I'm a fan of Godzilla. I love Godzilla. I'm not a huge fan of Kong, to be honest. I watched the '05 movie. I really liked it. Like, I watched it years ago. I really liked it. I still like it now. But I'm not like a huge fan of him. I just like him. I think he's fine. I think he's pretty cool to look at. And in Skull Island, I thought he looked the best. Like, that was my favorite Kong movie. Obviously we have the advantages now of like better effects now as well. You can make him look a lot bigger, but yeah, I did love him in Skull Island, so I can't wait to see that in next episode. The last episode of the series will be Godzilla 2014 and Kong Skull Island. That'll be next week. But yeah, I watched the 1933 and '05, and after watching those both side by side, not side by side but one after the other, the 2005 one was basically a direct remake of 1933, I'm pretty sure. Because I was watching it, I was like, it's about a film producer who wants to make a film. He knows about Skull Island, so he takes a crew and a woman to film the movie as well. He needs a woman to do it, not to do it, he needs a woman to star in it, pretty much. So he takes a lady and takes a whole film crew of actors as well. They go to the island, they find a tribe that captures the girl. They basically like sacrifice her to Kong, but Kong actually likes her, has a soft spot for her. Kong fights a dinosaur or 3 dinosaurs in I guess they're T-Rexes pretty much, or I think they're different in this movie. They're not T-Rexes, but they're similar. But yeah, in 1933 I think it was just 1 dinosaur. In 2005 it was 3 of them, and in 2005 the last one he beat, he opened the mouth just to check if he was dead. He did the exact same thing in 1933, and I thought, this is definitely a remake. Like, I'm seeing too many similarities here. But eventually Kong and the girl spend time together, then eventually Kong gets caught, gets taken back to Broadway to be shown off, basically, for theatre shows. Eventually he breaks out, he gets the girl as well. And yeah, eventually it ends up on a final battle up on the Empire State Building. And yeah, I just thought, like, yeah, this is basically the same thing. And I didn't realize as well, like, King Kong is 2005 King Kong was 3 hours long. I was just like, really? Like, I watched it years ago and I don't remember it being 3 hours, but damn, they put a lot in that movie. I'm kind of thinking that Kong versus Godzilla, or Godzilla versus Kong next year, it could work as 3 hours. I mean, I wouldn't mind that, but actually, nah, that could be exhausting for some people. I mean, I'd watch it for 3 hours, to be honest, but I guess it will be, well, we'll see next year. We'll see next year. I'm kind of hoping that next year there's a 3rd monster though. I just think that'd be better. Just because, and I mentioned this already, but just because I want to see them team up, okay? It can't be just me who wants to see that. Godzilla and Kong in the Monsterverse teaming up. If Godzilla's last movie is really Godzilla vs Kong, before he goes back to Toho, I hope they team up just once, just to fight something. It can happen before their fights or after their fights. Either way, I want to see them both team up and fight something else. I just think that would be awesome. I just think that would be great. But yeah, the 2005 King Kong was very different, more like a giant gorilla. I mean, he's a giant ape, to be fair, but you know, he looks very different in Skull Island, obviously. Not in size, I mean, like his stature, the way he moves and stuff. But yeah, I appreciate both movies, 1933 and '05. 33, the effects on Kong, not that great, to be honest. The effects on Kong, not that great. To be fair, looked pretty good for 33, but still. it looked a little weird, it looked a bit shaky. In '05, I love the effects. Love the effects. It's not that big, but still I love the effects of him in '05. And my favourite part of that movie is definitely him fighting the dinosaurs. I think they're called V-Rexes or something. They're probably in the same family as a T-Rex. They're probably like, I'm pretty sure they're probably like a fictional T-Rex. I guess that's what they are. No idea, but whatever they are, when Kong fought 3 of them while also protecting the girl as well, that was just awesome. But yeah, after I watched them both as well, I noticed like similar lines, like the film producer saying he was the eighth wonder of the world, and in the breakout scene in the theater in both movies, he got angry because of camera flashes as well. And at the end when Kong died in both movies, when he fell off the building, the film producer was like, the beauty killed the beast. And I was just like, okay, so it's not just the scenes, you see same lines as well, so it was like a direct remake. So then I googled it and I realized the '05 movie was set in 1933. I don't know why, but it blew my mind, because for some reason I was expecting like different movies, but when I first saw the '33 movie, I was like, because I remembered the previous movie, I remembered '05 already, like not completely, but I remembered a lot of it already. So I was like, this is quite similar. This is quite similar. Then I watched '05 and I was like, I was hearing similar lines, the same scenes. It's not a bad thing, by the way. I mean, I appreciate the remake because it's much better effects. It just looks a lot better. It looks so good. Even now, even though it's like 14 years ago, it still holds up now, I feel. '05 movie, I think it really does. So yeah, I enjoyed myself. I'm gonna watch the Godzilla American adaptations now. I think there's 3 movies where they remade Toho movies, I'm pretty sure. Like, they used Toho footage, mixed it with their new footage, and mixed the movie together. I have no idea how it works, but I'm gonna watch those 3 next. Then it will be Godzilla, then it will be the abomination that is this thing. Well, what is that is the real question here, but I'll get to that movie last. I mean, to be fair, I'll probably like it just because, like, I mean, I'll get to it later, but it's still an abomination the way it looks. I mean, you call that Godzilla? Like, seriously. Anyway, let's start this marathon. Okay, so I just watched 4 Godzilla movies all in a row, and pretty much 3 of them are remakes, they're American versions of Toho movies. So it's not dubbed over. Parts of it are dubbed over, they keep the same scenes in some parts, and they cut some scenes out and replace them with American scenes to make it more American, pretty much. And the monster scene's pretty much the same. They had some new stuff in, I think, but it's pretty much the same. It's pretty much just the human scenes that they change up, take out some of the Toho stuff, add in some American stuff, and they keep some Toho stuff as well. Some Toho scenes, they keep it and they dub it in English. And yeah, that's for these 3 movies. The 3 movies are called Godzilla King of the Monsters, which is the same name as 2019's movie, which is pretty interesting. That's a remake of the original 1954 Toho Godzilla movie. The next one is King Kong vs. Godzilla. Came out in '63, a year after King Kong vs. Godzilla for Toho. So basically that movie got 2 versions, a Toho version and American version, a year later. And also the original one, King of the Monsters, was a year after the original Godzilla. Actually 2 years after, I think. 2 years after. Pretty close though. And the third one, also a year after, Godzilla 1985, a year after Godzilla, The Return of Godzilla 1984. So yeah, they're just like those 3 movies, the original, King Kong v Godzilla, and The Return of Godzilla were remade into 3 American versions. They took out some scenes, as I said, and replaced some scenes with American actors. And yeah, it was the same movie. It was the same movie, just with different scenes, pretty much, if that makes sense. So yeah, there's not much to say about those, really. That's why I watched all 4 before telling my thoughts. I thought I'd just watch all of them. And the 4th one was Godzilla. Now this is the Italian version. I say version, it's basically the original movie, 54, in Italian, with Italian scenes as well. And some scenes are a bit longer as well, I think. And they changed it up a little bit. So a bit like the American ones, but in Italian. I watched it in Italian with subtitles in English. So yeah, there's that. And yeah, it was kind of crazy because it's originally Japanese, but you're watching Italian dub of Japanese, subtitled in English. Inception there. But yeah, and it was colorized as well. It was colorized. They put color into it. It was a bit too bright though. I don't know if it was just the version I was watching, but it was a bit too bright to like look at it sometimes. But yeah, it was basically colorized. He wasn't fully colorized. There's some black and white still. But yeah, I think Godzilla looked a bit different as well. I think slightly different. But yeah, it's still the same storylines. I basically watched the same movie twice today. The American version of the original movie from Toho, and the Italian version of it as well. So there's those two things. So yeah, all four of them pretty much just remakes in different languages of the same movie from Toho, pretty much. So there's not much to say really, apart from that. And I thought they were fine. Godzilla I didn't really enjoy that much, mainly because it was a bit too bright, and also because, I don't know, I just didn't really enjoy it that much, to be honest. It just wasn't that exciting to me for some reason. But the American ones I thought were fine. None of them as good as the Toho ones. Toho one's definitely better. The original usually is better, to be fair, for remakes. Not all the time, but especially most of the time, yeah, including this one. But they were still good. The American versions, all three of them, they were still good. They were well made, just not as good as the Toho versions. That's what I got to say really. So on to the last one, which is 1998. So I just watched Godzilla 1998, and I gotta say, the US Army in this movie are very annoying, because most of the time they can't even hit the targets. It's so annoying. Then when it comes to the end, the final scene, finally they're accurate. It's very annoying. They get their training from stormtroopers probably, because it's so bad, the shooting accuracy. It's so damn bad. Okay. Anyway, Godzilla 1998. This Godzilla was a very bad design. They designed it so badly. I don't know what they were thinking, but this was like a really bad design for Godzilla. It looks nothing like Godzilla. That's the problem. You can see some fins and stuff. And he gets the roar, he gets the same iconic roar as the previous Toho movies, but it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work as Godzilla. It looks more like something from Jurassic rather than Godzilla. And I get that Jurassic dinosaurs are a lot smaller than this Godzilla, but still, it looks more like a giant abnormal T-Rex than Godzilla, which is the annoying thing. And to be fair, this probably could fit in the Jurassic movie, because in Jurassic World, the new movies right now, they have hybrid dinosaurs where you get genes from two different species of dinosaurs, put them together and make one big fierce dinosaur. They did that twice now in both Jurassic World movies. This Godzilla here in 1998 would fit that narrative. Jurassic World 3, they make a custom dinosaur again, and it's that thing. It would fit better than flipping Godzilla. The thing is, as a normal monster movie, I think it works. If you look at it as like not Godzilla, just any monster, just look at it as a random monster movie. If you don't know, like for me, like when I watched it as a kid, I did not know who Godzilla was anyway. So for me, it was just a dinosaur. Like when I was a kid, I thought it's just a big dinosaur. That's what I thought as a kid. But if you just look at it as a monster, just a normal monster or a dinosaur just roaming around, then it works. But that's the problem. It's not. It's a Godzilla movie. It's supposed to be a Godzilla movie, and they messed it up with the design. And it's annoying. And the other issue was the fact that this Godzilla reproduces and makes like, how many was it? Like 30, 40 different babies. And each baby is born pregnant as well, so they can multiply. It just, I mean, I don't mind the idea of Godzilla having children. I don't mind the idea of that. He's had a son in the Heisei period, and the Showa period. And in Final Wars as well, Manila was there as well. I don't mind the idea of him having a child or another child, but the way they did it in this movie, it just doesn't fit Godzilla. It just doesn't fit Godzilla for me. And they don't even look like Godzilla either. I mean, they look closer to dinosaurs, as I mentioned. So yeah, that's just the annoying part of it, to be honest. As a kid, I liked it because I didn't know Godzilla was. But now I know. After 2014, I thought, okay, what was 1998? Because that's what I thought. After watching 2014, I thought, one of my thoughts was, okay, now we've seen this Godzilla. What on earth was that in 1998? Because I never understood the hate for it, like 1998 before that, because I didn't watch Godzilla movies from Toho, so I didn't know about the character. So I knew it got a lot of hate, but I thought, yeah, 1998 was alright, guys. So why is it so bad? Then I watched 2014. And then I saw the trailer for 2016 as well for Shin Godzilla. And then I understood. Then I understood why this one is a bit of a disgrace. Because after I saw, obviously, those movies, and after I saw pictures of other Godzillas, then I realized, yeah, so there we go. Now, especially after watching all the Toho ones. I've seen, what, 37 movies now of Godzilla? It's pretty crazy. There's one more left as well, which I've already seen a couple times. But yeah, the design it was a big flaw. I don't know what they were thinking. I get they were trying to do something different, I guess, but it just didn't work. As a monster movie, it works, not as a Godzilla movie though. If they called it something else, like, I don't know, Jurassic Outbreak, or literally anything that's not Godzilla, it probably would have worked. It's just that it is Godzilla, and it's supposed to be Godzilla, but it's not Godzilla really. So yeah, that's annoying. It could have worked though. You know, there's a way they could have made this work by still including this Godzilla. Basically, right, remember when they basically kill it with the submarine, right? Let's just say it comes back, right? At the end it comes back, obviously it does come back, right? And then the real one shows up. Imagine that, right? This whole time they show this dinosaur thing just running around saying it's Godzilla, and this whole time the real one was just over there waiting to come in. That would have worked, because then you get the real Godzilla coming in and fighting this one and then killing all the babies. It would have worked. It would have worked. I'm just saying that actually, I know that wasn't part of the plan anyway, because that thing was Godzilla according to them, but that could have worked. You could have had this monster still in here and added the actual Godzilla in, and they actually would have fit together. I think that would have been cool. If they made like the same movie up to like a certain point, then the last half an hour you get the actual Godzilla, and that fights Zilla. Am I stupid in thinking that, or would that have worked? I have no idea. Maybe I'm just overthinking it, but I think that could have worked. You know, I think that could have worked if they had an actual Godzilla waiting on the side to come in for the last half an hour for like a massive battle. I think, you know, you never know. You never know, but it's done now. It's done now. That's in the past. It was going to get a sequel apparently, but it obviously got cancelled. Now we got the MonsterVerse, the 2014 one, much better, much better. I got to say, I probably should have said this last week since it was the end of the Toho ones, but my favourite era of Godzilla movies is the Heisei period, from 1984 to 1995. I think that was the best era of Godzilla movies, for me anyway. Showa was good as well. The first period was great as well, to be fair. Those were the best periods. Millennium was quite good as well. I really liked Final Wars as well, which was pretty cool. And not so much of the newer ones though. Shin, I like Shin, but the animated ones, they just annoyed me in the end really. But most of these movies I've enjoyed, but the Heisei period for me is the best period. Like, I'd rewatch that again and again, like that whole period of movies. I just think it just works really well. And I love Destroyer as well. I want to see the monster again at some point. Hopefully in the MonsterVerse, if they get rights. What I'm hoping, right, because there are other kaiju in King of the Monsters apart from the 4. What I'm hoping is they've lied to us. What I'm hoping is they've told us that they've borrowed 4 monsters from Toho, but in reality they've actually got more. I'm hoping they're lying. I'm hoping they're lying, and that thing getting out of the ground in the trailer is Anguirus, and I hope those legs are Kumanga. I'm just hoping, and I'm hoping maybe there's Destroyer as well. I'm just saying, things can happen in secret. Maybe Toho lent out more monsters than we think. Maybe Legendary are lying. I'm just saying, it's just a theory. It's probably not true anyway. They're probably telling us the truth in terms of the 4 monsters. But we will see. We will see. Anyway, next week is the MonsterVerse. The final episode of this marathon is Godzilla 2014 and Kong Skull Island. It should be good, because I do love both movies. Got them both on Blu-ray as well, so this should be fun. I apologise for the strange face. Anyway, I just watched Godzilla 2014. It's 3 AM now on Sunday. Sunday morning, Saturday night, 3 AM. I'm very late to this. I didn't forget. I just thought that It's only two movies. It's only two movies. I'll watch it tomorrow. I'll watch it tomorrow. I kept doing that for some reason. I don't know why I'm procrastinating watching movies. That doesn't make any sense. Like, it's not an exam. It's not a coursework. I don't know why I'm procrastinating watching a movie. But because there's only two of them this week, I thought I'd just wait a little bit. But then I realized that it's Saturday night and I'm like, damn, I haven't started yet. So I thought I'd just watch this now. I'm going to an Arsenal game during the day as well, so had to watch this one now. I watched Godzilla on Sunday night, then it'll be up on Monday. This video, as usual, for Movie Monday. And yeah, welcome to Movie Monday, by the way. I'm talking a bit too fast here, stuttering too much, but yeah, I just watched Godzilla 2014. Yeah, it's very late, so I turned the volume up for that Raw, for the intro, and I have neighbours. I live in a flat, and I have neighbours that way, down below, and up above. Hopefully no one's bedroom is above or below me. That'd be very helpful, because I did turn it up quite a bit. But anyway, yeah, so this movie does get a bit of hate, mainly for two reasons. First of all, not enough Godzilla, and second of all, apparently it's a bit too fat. For both those things, I understand it. I kind of understand it, to be fair. I get where they're coming from. He's a bit big, isn't he? Down below, especially, he's got a bit of a belly. But I think it still looks really cool. I think it looks badass. For me, him being big was one of the best parts about him. I was amazed by how big he could be, because I never watched the Toho movies before that. Never knew about them either. I mean, I knew about Godzilla movies, but I never saw a picture. I never watched any of them. The only one I saw was 98, who wasn't really Godzilla anyway. So yeah, the 2014 one was my first like proper look at a proper looking Godzilla. And for me, his size was one of the biggest things about it, one of the most impressive things. So yeah, I really liked him in the movie. And not enough Godzilla, I understand that too. In terms of like the monsters, I actually like, I didn't calculate it, I wrote down the times. 35 minutes in, the first Muto, the male Muto, the smaller one, 35 minutes into the movie, no monsters until then. You see photos and glimpses of Godzilla, I think, but you don't see any full monsters. But 35 minutes in is the first reveal. And then 59 minutes in is Godzilla. And then an hour and 5 minutes in is the second Muto, the bigger one. So it does take a while. And Godzilla himself, 59 minutes, and the movie's 2 hours long. So almost halfway through just to show Godzilla in its full form. So I get that. But for me, to defend that, I think the main reason is not because there wasn't enough Godzilla. It's also, I mean, it's not just because of that, but it's also because I feel the human characters were not interesting enough. I felt that was like the bigger flaw of the movie, rather than Godzilla himself not being in there. The human characters, Bryan Cranston's character was pretty cool while he was there, but they killed him off so early, and I just felt that was wasted, to be honest, because I think it would have been great to see him meet Godzilla somehow. I just think it would have been nice to see him for the rest of the movie. Even if he died anyway, I think the rest of the movie would have been nice, if he survived at least until the final battle. Apart from that, Dr. Serizawa, I like him. Looking forward to seeing him again in King of the Monsters. I do like the guy. Speaking of King of the Monsters, at the end of the movie, after the final battle, it's the morning. The family's reunited in the stadium. On the screen, it's saying there's a headline: Godzilla our savior ? Before that, the headline says King of the Monsters. So I'm wondering, is that where they got the title from? That's what I'm wondering. Then again, there was also a movie already called King of the Monsters, Godzilla King of the Monsters, which is the American remake of the original movie from Toho. So maybe they got it from there, but still, I think that's a pretty cool, like, I never noticed that before. So yeah, I looked at the screen and I was like, oh, it says King of the Monsters there in the first Godzilla movie. I think that's really cool, like, in a way, foreshadowing of the title of the next movie. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, like, I think, like, to defend Godzilla not being there even more, I feel that when he was there, even though it was like 8 minutes, I think, I'm pretty sure. I checked on YouTube, I think it was like 8 minutes. Maybe, I think it's under 10 for sure. I think when he was there, he made up for when he wasn't there, if that makes sense. I think when he was there, it was epic enough to make up for it. And for me, the final battle to be honest, saved the movie. Like, if you didn't get a final battle, I think I might have agreed, to be honest, but I think it delivered at the end. I think the ending delivered. I just wanted more out of it, out the whole movie as a whole. So I understand people when people say not enough Godzilla. I get that, to be fair, because I wanted more as well, to be fair. But yeah, and the Mutos, when I first watched it, didn't really like them. I still don't really like them that much, to be honest. I do like them a bit more though now. They're alright. They're alright. They're not good looking monsters, but yeah, they're alright. They're a bit of a nuisance, to be honest, but I get why they're there. I get what they're doing. They're just trying to reproduce, pretty much, trying to populate, repopulate their species. I get all that. So yeah, I wonder what would happen though. Like, imagine if Godzilla failed, the military failed. What if they all hatched? I wonder, like, maybe King Ghidorah would have stopped the Mutos. Who knows? That's just a what if scenario. But yeah, they're all right. You know, I get why the Mutos are there, as I said, and I'm glad they were there actually, because we got to see Godzilla fight other monsters. Like, that's the best way to do Godzilla, in my opinion. He's obviously destroyed a lot of cities already, and I think it's better than a monster just destroying people. Instead of that, you get a monster fighting another monster. I just think that's better. So I'm glad the Mutos were there for Godzilla to fight them. So yeah, that was interesting. To be fair, they actually could have killed him. They could have killed Godzilla. I'm not sure if they can kill Godzilla, to be honest. I'm pretty sure he can die, but he seems pretty immortal, especially in Toho. But they were beating him down pretty badly, and it only stopped because the soldier, what's the name of the character? No idea. But Aaron Taylor Johnson, the main soldier of the movie, he blew up the baby's nest where they were gonna repopulate, obviously, and that got the mother distracted, and the father left as well. And yeah, if it wasn't for that bomb, you never know, they might have killed Godzilla. So that's pretty interesting to think about. But yeah, there's that. But I still enjoyed this movie. I really like it, actually. Really like it. I think it's done well enough. And yeah, I think just the main fault is the human characters. There's not enough interesting ones, to be honest. But yeah, I'm looking forward to King of the Monsters a lot more. With King of the Monsters, Godzilla's screen time doesn't matter as much to me. I do still want to see more of him in that movie than in 2014, for sure. But I'm not too bothered about his screen time, to be honest with you, because this time I actually care about the other monsters. I care about Mothra, about Rodan, about King Ghidorah. So all four combined, as long as we get like all four of them for a decent amount of time, not at the same time necessarily, but as long as we get like a monster, one of those four monsters, for like at least 3/4 of the movie, I'm fine with that. Like, honestly, like, I don't mind seeing more King Ghidorah than Godzilla, because I actually care about King Ghidorah. I want to see what happens to King Ghidorah, to Mothra, to Rodan. Whereas the Mutos, I was just like, I just want Godzilla. I just want Godzilla. But yeah, there we go. The Mutos are just there. They're just there to be there. They have a purpose, but they're not that likable. But the monsters in King Godzilla 2, they're actually likable. They're actually interesting, more interesting. So yeah, I'm looking forward to King of the Monsters. It's a bit crowded as well. There's 4 plus at least another 2 more. There's probably another one. Who knows? I'm pretty sure there's a website actually. Legendary got a website up where you can track where Godzilla is in the movie universe, obviously. Last time I checked the website, Godzilla was near South America, I think, for some reason. No idea. And also, because it's like a global map, on the map there's a lot of outposts, and I'm pretty sure there's more than 5 or 6. There's quite a lot of outposts across the world, and in each place there's a monster. So there's one on Skull Island where Kong is. There's one in I think there's one in Japan. There's one in Mexico, which I'm pretty sure is Rodan. Yeah, I can't remember all the locations. Yeah, there's one in Germany, and Germany's the thing that's getting up in the trailer, that big mountain thing, whatever it is. It could be Anguirus. I hope it's Anguirus. That thing's in Germany, and there's different locations and stuff. So I don't know. I think there might be more than 6, but I feel like the 4 monsters that we know of, the 4 main monsters, they'll be the ones part of the story. I think the other ones would just be like there for cameos pretty much, there for like 1 or 2 minutes. Maybe Godzilla kills a couple of them, I have no idea. Or maybe that's the end of the movie. Maybe the end of the movie is when someone wins, obviously, and obviously Godzilla will still be alive. But I think maybe at the end they show all the monsters finally getting up, and maybe you see Kong as well. Maybe that's it. I have no idea. And maybe the monsters, the actual monsters that we see in this movie, will be in Godzilla vs Kong. I don't know how it could work, but yeah, we'll get to that when we get to it. It's still a long way to go. I'm going to watch Kong Skull Island when I wake up. Actually, not when I wake up. When I go out and come back, I'll probably watch the movie, and then I'll tell you my thoughts on that as well. That'll be a bit shorter as well. Alright, so before we talk about Kong Skull Island, we have done it. We have done it. 38 Godzilla movies. That was 38 in total. 32 Toho, plus 4 remakes, so that's 36, plus 1998, which, I mean, it's not really Godzilla, is it? But it's still a Godzilla movie, technically. And 2014, that's 38, all 38 movies. That's the biggest marathon I've done for movies anyway. I've done a long marathon for TV shows like Game of Thrones. I watched like 6 seasons in like a week. Walking Dead as well, 6 seasons in like a week. But that's TV shows. In terms of movies, the biggest thing I've done before this is the MCU. I've watched all of them before Infinity War. So yeah, there's that. I'm not doing that again this year though, before Endgame. This year I'm just going in after Captain Marvel. But anyway, yeah. By the way, for future episodes of Movie Monday, in the next few months it will be mainly superhero focused because of Avengers Endgame and X-Men Dark Phoenix, and that points to the next marathon. The next marathon will be the X-Men movies, so the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, and the 3 Wolverine movies. No Deadpool, because he's not linked. I mean, he's still in the same universe, but he's not linked to the rest of the X-Men. So, but yeah, my next marathon will be the X-Men. And I will make some videos on Infinity War, Infinity War and Endgame as well. And I'll probably make some videos after Endgame is done, whether it's good or bad. I'll probably make videos on it. Like I'll make videos on Endgame, probably like a couple of them. And I want to make some videos on the DCEU as well. I want to make videos on the DC movies as well. So you'll see some of those, like one-off videos basically, but for like a series, the next one will be X-Men. I've got a few planned, but I'm not going to say what the other marathons are because it might be like 2020 by the time I get to them. So I'm just not going to say them now in case like it's way too premature to like say things that I'll do like next year. And yeah, if I ever run out of these marathons and current movies, I've got an idea for how to keep going with this for probably years actually. Basically, I've got a long list of movies on my phone. On my phone, I list down movies that get recommended and movies that people talk about that I haven't seen pretty much. And it's a really long list. Like, I got some examples here. Hold on a second. I got the list here. Right, at the top, there's Mowgli, Watchmen, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., Get Out. Okay, those are just 4 examples. I'm not going to name it's a long list, okay? Basically, I have a long list of movies. So I would do a series where I just watch them. Not like a marathon, but I'd watch like at least 2, up to 4 per week. And put them out as like reviewing each one. So basically reviewing old movies. I don't know what I'd call the series. I'm thinking of a good name for the series, but that would be the plan for the future. If it comes to me not being able to do any more marathons, any more series specifically. But I might do some of these early anyway, because I want to watch these as well. I'm not in a rush to watch them. And it's mainly movies I haven't seen as well. It's mainly movies I haven't seen, but it's also movies that I have seen that I want to see again as well. There's a thing on that list as well. Anyway, I've been talking too much about not Godzilla or Kong. This part is going to be pretty short. It's about Kong Skull Island. I think they did this movie better than Godzilla 2014. I prefer Godzilla 2014. I prefer that movie, but I think they did this one better in terms of the action of monsters. I really think they really did this one well. They showed Kong's face in the first scene. It took until like half an hour to show Kong in full, so a lot quicker than Godzilla. It's about the same length. It's shorter than Godzilla 2014, but yeah, I think Kong has a couple more minutes of scenes. he has a bit more than Godzilla, not that much more, but you wouldn't think it because it seems like he's got a lot more than Godzilla, but it's only like a couple minutes actually. I think so, apparently, anyway. But I think like it's not always about how much monsters are in there. It's also about how it's just presented to us, and I think Kong, they showed him at the right times, and I think they did it really well. I love the camera angles, the slow motion, the way it's filmed. And yeah, I just enjoy it. And obviously there's like a uncharted islands. There's lots of creatures. There's wait, I've got it listed down here. There's a giant buffalo. I think it's a buffalo. Whatever those things are, there's like 2 or 3 of them on the island. Obviously we know that because one, I thought there was one at first, but I saw one dead, then I saw another one alive, so there's more than one of those. There's that giant spider, which is really scary. There's that giant octopus as well. We never saw the head of that thing, just the tentacles, but still, that's pretty cool. Giant octopus not in the ocean, in the water. There was that big mantis thing, that wooden thing that got up, and those crazy birds that were not that big, but they're pretty crazy. They can rip you apart. They literally did rip someone apart in the movie as well. And there was also a reference to giant ants making noises. We didn't see them, but I would have liked to see a big ant in the movie. Like, since they mentioned it, I would have liked to at least seen one. But yeah, in terms of human characters, this movie had the same problem as Godzilla 2014. They're not interesting enough, to be honest. Apart from the pilot who crashed. The guy on the island who explains to them who the Skullcrawlers are. That guy's pretty cool. I kind of like him. And I like the ending as well, where they showed him meeting his wife after 30 years of being trapped on the island. So I think that's a very nice touch. I think that character was pretty cool. And also, Samuel Jackson's character was funny. I liked him because he was funny. It's just the way he was so angry at Kong because he lost all his men. There's something funny about it. And I think just because he makes me laugh, I like that character. Rest of the characters, not so much, to be honest, but I do like how they set up the story and how they set up this universe even more, and it's just awesome. It makes me wonder though, because there's such a thick storm, it makes me wonder, like, can Kong get through that? And if he can't, how does he get out of that? Because I'm pretty sure he will leave Skull Island. I don't think the whole movie is going to be in 2020. I don't think it's going to be the whole thing in Skull Island. I think I watched it. I've seen some videos recently. There was a theory that Godzilla goes to Skull Island to search for something massive that's not Kong. He goes there to search for some giant monster, whatever it is, and instead he finds Kong. And Kong looks at him and sees an intruder on his territory, so he fights Godzilla. That's a theory of how the fight could start, because Kong and Godzilla, they're, in this universe especially, they're both good guys. I mean, they cause destruction, for sure. They are monsters after all, but they're heroes. They're the heroes of the story. There's got to be a reason why they'll fight each other. It might be just about dominance. It might be just about dominance, to be fair, but still, it would make sense if Godzilla goes there first, and then Kong sees him as an intruder trying to destroy his land or whatever. But yeah, this is basically about a guy from Monarch who wants to prove the monsters are real. Because if they can't prove it, then they get shut down pretty much. So they go to Skull Island. They take a military team, and most of them get taken out by Kong. That was a really cool entrance. I love the way he looked in this movie. He's just so big. It's just so damn good. I cannot wait to see him fight Godzilla. Pretty sure he'll be a lot bigger as well, because he's still young in this movie. I wonder how old he is, to be honest. I wonder how old he is, because he was in the 70s, right, or the 80s, that movie. So a few decades. I guess he could grow a lot in those few decades. By the way, I talked about the other monsters, the Skullcrawlers. I like the Skullcrawlers. I really like them. I enjoy watching these Skullcrawlers. They're very ugly, uglier than the Mutos, to be honest. But when there's an antagonist monster, you want it to be scary. You want it to, and it looked creepy. It moved creepy. It looked damn scary. It had traits of a skeleton creature, had a snake sort of tongue. It looked freaky. It looked like something from a nightmare. and I think because you want it to be scary. If it's supposed to be the antagonist to the hero, it's meant to be scary. And these skull crawlers, they look menacing and scary. I like the way they did it. I like them a lot more than the Mutos, definitely. Especially the big one is just crazy. The big one is just unbelievable. But yeah, I enjoy this movie. I enjoy watching. I enjoyed watching these two movies back. They've been very enjoyable. So yeah, that's about it really. On to the MonsterVerse next year. Now obviously Godzilla vs Kong is next year. I might do a marathon where, actually I mentioned how I'm not going to say what they are, but I'm going to say what this one is. I might eventually do one where I watch Kong movies. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I got recommended a few recently. One was like Son, I think, Son of King Kong, something like that. I got recommended like 4 movies I think related to Kong. I think some of them, at least a couple of them are anyway. But I checked on IMDb and there's quite a few King Kong movies, so I might watch through those sometime next year. Although it does come out in March next year. It got moved up. It got pushed up by 2 months. I know it got pushed up because of Fast and Furious to avoid competition, but if you're, regardless of the reasons, if you're going to move a movie 2 months forward, you're probably confident. So that is good news. Like, if they're that confident in their movie that they're pushing it forward by 2 months, it's probably ahead of schedule, and it's probably likely to be something really good. I hope it is anyway. I hope King of the Monsters is good. It's just looking good. I love the tease, by the way. I love it. I love crossovers, so I love it when movies connect to another movie. And this one, the after credits scene, they talk about other kings. Kong's not the only king. They show it's just pictures, but still they show Godzilla, Rodan, Mothra, King Ghidorah in that order. And then they show King Ghidorah fighting Godzilla, which means they've obviously fought before, which we already know, of course. So that is an amazing tease. It's just a great connection. And yeah, King of the Monsters is just a few months away. 3 months seems like a long time. But before that, I've got Captain Marvel, Shazam, Game of Thrones final season, and Endgame. I've got Endgame as well. And I'll probably watch that at least like a few times, assuming I like it, which I probably will. So after Endgame, a month after that is Godzilla, King of the Monsters. So I got things to look forward to before that. And hopefully these 3 months fly by, because I want to see King of the Monsters so much. After Endgame though, I want to see Endgame first and foremost. But anyway, yeah, that's it for this marathon. Next week will either be Infinity War / Endgame related, or it will be the X-Men marathon. One of the two. Either way, the X-Men movie comes out in June and Endgame comes out in April. But I don't know yet how many videos I make on Endgame yet, so we'll see. But the X-Men marathon should be done before June when it comes out. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, it's Monday morning, 4:37 AM. Good luck to me. This should be up by 10 AM UK time, which is what I always go for most of my uploads. Non-AFL ones anyway. So yeah, this should be up on time, but I will definitely not be up for a while. What I'm planning to do is just sleep through my alarms. No alarms for Monday. Just no alarms. Just gonna sleep. I'll probably wake up at like 4 or 5 in the evening, which is not good. But I'll probably do it all night on Tuesday. Then I should fix my sleeping pattern by then, by Thursday. I guess we'll see. This was your boy Davidoff. Please like, share, subscribe. Actually, no, I'm going to an Arsenal game on Wednesday, so I can't do that. Whatever. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, and see ya.